We're going to call this meeting to order at 6:33. We'll begin by standing for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Will I get a motion to approve the agenda? So moved. Second. Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes. Can I get a motion to approve the November 12th, 2024 meeting minutes?
I'll make that motion to approve November 12th, 2024 meeting minutes. I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. Can I get a motion to approve the vouchers?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. And we will just acknowledge the November 2024 financial statement.
Oh, so moved. I'll make the acknowledgement to do the 2024 November financial statement.
No second.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes. On to new business. We need to approve to remove Vernon Condi from the First Bank General and Sewer checking accounts and add Clyde Copeland as the signer on the First Bank General and Sewer checking accounts based on the results of recent election.
I move to approve removing Vernon from our First Bank General and Sewer checking and add Clyde Copeland.
I'll second. Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yeah, you can say I'm her concur.
Okay. Any opposed? Yeah, that motion passes. And get a motion to approve to add Clyde Copeland as a signer on the Uinta Bank Money Market General and Sewer accounts.
So moved.
Second. Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes. And we get a motion to approve, sign on the non-disclosure agreement for the Terra Power application.
I'll make that motion to approve and sign the non-disclosure agreement for the Terra Power application. I will second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
If you want me to explain it, I can, but I'm good with explaining after.
Okay. And any opposed? Okay. That motion passes. Now, do you have something you want to?
If you would like me to just give you an update on that, or how you want to do it.
As far, do you want an explanation of the non-disclosure?
Yeah, I would. I think it's on the one side.
Right. As you guys probably remember, when Terra Power put their application in, they showed materials at 500 million. That was multiplied by the 2% of tax, gave a $10 million amount that was supposed to be impact funds. Well, we had our MOU. Mark Harris and I were sitting down talking about that, trying to jive the size of the overall project and that funding with the size of the projects that we've just seen with the slurry trona lines going in. And, you know, this is slightly smaller than the Dry Creek trona mine we just finished, slightly larger than the trona mine Pacific Soda that we had earlier in the summer. And yet they were 2-3+ times more in impact funds. And we were struggling trying to come up with that. So he and I talked, he made some phone calls to people he knew in Cheyenne and on the committee, And if you remember, we had that letter that we sent out questioning the amount. Well, it came back that, oh yeah, we made a mistake. It's actually more money than the 500 million, but because the nuclear project is a test or demonstration facility, a proving facility, because it's the first of its kind, they have now filed a motion asking that information on what materials that they use, how much of the materials that they use, and what type of employees that they use on that project be sealed. And they don't want people to kind of reverse engineer to figure out what's going into that project. So they, the Attorney General's office, they've asked the Attorney General's office has asked the communities if you would be willing to do a non-disclosure. I can tell you, I don't think there's a problem as long as the state's looking at it, saying, we don't even need to see it. But it's generally in the application. They were given a notice by the industrial siding group that they have an incomplete application because that part was not done. So this is just a process they're trying to go through to get the application completed in time, but also protect what they have in a project that is this new. And so that's what the non-disclosure is going to be asked for, that we turn in, just so we know what we're dealing with. As a side note, I visited with Mr. Weitz, who was with the Attorney General's office representing Dr. Statement, who was the head of the industrial siding, and asked them some specifics about how much or what they thought, and this is before, and when they were told that yes, we made a mistake. I think they're loosely using the word mistake, but he said, I think the communities will be happy. So I expect this to be probably a doubling, possibly to a tripling, someplace in that amount on the amount of money. What has been discussed based on the MOU that we put together is that the counties will receive the percentage of the same percentages, and then the counties will work out within the communities what's going to happen. That's a proposal. I was there when that idea was floated at the Dry Creek meeting, and the Sweetwater County Commissioner who was there says, I don't think that's going to be a problem, but Green River said if there's that much more money, they might want to get back in. And at this point, they had stepped out completely because I think Green River received $8 million from the Dry Creek soda. Rock Springs, I believe, received $13 million from the Dry Creek soda project as it went forward. So we'll see what happens. But that is just a step to try to get this moving forward so we can get an update amount. And I again, I'm telling you this, realizing that the decision was made to go under the umbrella with the county, which I still think is smart. It sounds like you guys are going to try to incorporate that population, which is something we talked about at one of the early meetings with Dry Creek. As doing a county-wide population and dividing it up. It sounds like they're going to go with that. And even though, again, we tend to be the furthest away, we're certainly closer to the TerraPower nuclear Cameron 1 unit than we are at either the mine, which is about 13 miles south of Little America, almost directly south, or the processing plant, which is just north, going towards Granger, Little America. But with this project on top of project on top of project, there's a good chance we'll see some impact of that. And we will work together once we get those impact funds. The one from Dry Creek obviously is earmarked for that sewer line. The other will go in and we'll work together to come up with an accounting ability on what areas this can be used for, because it's set out in statute. But then that becomes kind of an accounting game, you know. We might use it here, but take money we were planning to use here and be able to use it someplace else.
I have a comment and a question, but I think it's kind of humorous that, you know, NBAs are for competition. I think it's kind of humorous that they've got to ask for an NBA because who's going to go out and spend $100 billion and build another power plant? So,
There are 4 different models
yeah,
right now of those modular nuclear plants. I read an article, 4 different models that are starting to compete for this growing market. That nuclear power.
anyways, I think it's interesting. It's not like most things that have a lot of competition.
Yeah.
So it's interesting for that. My question really is, Vernon has a copy of it already. Is that true? Yeah, you have a copy of it.
I have that.
Okay,
Then
so
I'll
when
check
does it
with
have to be
Loretta.
signed by?
Well, I'll double check with Loretta. What,
Because if it happens before January, Vernon's responsible for signing it, but Clyde's responsible for
I think the motion
For
was.
upholding it.
I think the motion was to allow the mayor to sign it.
right.
Yeah.
And it should come in before December 24th, because that's the last day that we're supposed to have to file our pre-hearing memorandums. And we would have to have that. I think they're shooting for the 18th to try to have those numbers available. That's a soft number that I just heard in discussions, listening to people as they discuss that. So that's probably the window we're looking at.
So my comment, Vernon, is just when you get it, make sure Clyde reads it too.
Yes.
You have to sign it because of the motion we made, but he better know what it is.
Yeah.
And what it says.
Well,
Okay.
Yeah. Easy.
Just really quick, I mean, he's kind of explained it really good. From Dry Creek, Pacific Soda to the nuclear facility, I honestly think it's been an evolving monster. I mean, the first stories we had from Dry Creek, it was this, and this. And Brian and I sat down and talked about it at great length. And we just decided there's not going to be any impact on the town of Bearwood. Well, then, before the draft, the Pacific Soda,
That was Pacific Soda, the Pacific Soda Dry Creek.
okay, I never got that. But anyway, in the next one, we were actually chastised for not participating in the first one. Okay, so we'll get in there. And throughout this whole process, the dates and the process, in my eyes, has changed dramatically. I mean, we was told with the second project that we'd be better off doing project specific. Well, then we get $152,000.
And
That's all we can spend it on.
And not be part of the account,
Right.
Bear River.
But now, when we went on the TerraPower project, it was strongly encouraged that we do population-based impact and partner up with the county. Well, and Clyde and I talked about it several times. If we would have gone in as the town of Bear River on this population base, we get $18.35. But where we went in with the county, we get right now we're $65,000.
I think you were correct at $18.39.
Right. So it's evolved. It's been kind of a fascinating, interesting, stressful.
And for Bear River on its own, it was really difficult on the population. Because we don't have hotel, we don't have a motel, we don't have RV parks, and that's what they target to look for where those temporary workers might be. But I think it was excellent that the county decided to say, hey, let's look at this as a county and then just present, this is how we want that divided. And the industrial side even seemed to say, yeah,
They really liked it. That was the impression.
okay.
Well, that was the way to go.
All righty, thanks for that update.
Okay.
Old business, anything from planning and zoning?
Very quiet. Our master plan. we've been working on.
Okay, very good. Anything on the roads?
They're frozen solid. They're pretty hard right now.
Yep.
And holding up quite well.
Yeah, they are.
How about sewer and water? Got a fairly good sewer discussion.
Yeah, we have pretty good service, guys, and that's been the crux of everything, too, everything else is
Yeah.
fully operational.
How about fire?
Things are good. I mean, this time of year, you know, be careful with your house fires and chimney fires and all that
Slick
stuff.
roads.
And the slick roads, and they're busy. Ambulance calls were up, what did he say, Troy? 200 above.
Oh.
Right now, we're 200 ahead of where we were last year,
The
at the beginning of
accident.
December.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah. So that's,
Oh.
and it keeps growing every year. Since COVID, it's just grown that much every year, it seems like. So,
Hopefully you guys are going for impact money too, right?
yes, yeah,
Good.
yeah, and the grant pad money, and then, you know, right now, one of the topics of discussion at the fire board is, are we, you know, doing enough to pay our full-time guys? And so they're looking at doing some, surveys on, salary surveys, so. Okay, kind of what's going on there?
Yeah, they're still hiring that new EMS chief.
Yes.
It's out there, so.
When they gonna make that decision?
I think they got to the 22nd, is that correct?
To apply, yeah.
Yes, to apply.
Oh,
And then they'll make the decision next month sometime.
Yeah, we'll have to interview after the first meeting.
Okay, very good. Anything from economic development?
You know, the main topic, the discussion's been what we've just been discussing here. Workforce development is still a work in progress, it's slow moving. And, you know, outside of that, we didn't have a meeting this month because we didn't have a quorum. So, not much, you know, this time of year, time of.
Yeah.
Not much going on.
People, minds are on other things.
Yeah.
Okay, anything from the floor? Okay, now, under other discussion, do we need to, for me to sign this, do we need to make a motion?
I think it'd be better to have a motion, because then it's in front of people, we have it documented, and
Didn't we already do that?
We already-
did.
Yeah, that motion was done like 2 months ago.
Well, this is something totally different.
Yeah, this is not Verizon
I just
money.
saw Verizon.
Yeah, the Verizon money we have, got the signed document, this is something I just got today. Verizon, it looks like Verizon is
They sold.
selling some of their lease.
how I read it is they're using somebody to kind of manage their towers for them.
It's the
A
bridge.
company called Vertical Bridge.
Over.
Vertical Bridge is partnering up with Verizon. And since we have a tower on our, they just want me to sign something that says, we're okay with dealing with Vertical Bridge instead of Verizon, so, but we just wanted to bring that up, make sure everybody knows. I mean,
That's the gist of that agreement.
yeah, the lease agreement, we've got the money, and this is different.
So it's not a financial agreement, so does he
No.
really need to?
No, it's just a
This is just an administrative thing that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
vertical,
They're
vertical
saying,
bridge.
It's not a day-to-day activity.
yeah, they're
I
saying-
think you're just better off if you have a motion and he signs it, because it just acknowledges that if there's any question called, that it wasn't legal.
yeah,
You have that the.
we're dealing with
council-
Vertical Bridge
The
now
council approved it.
instead of Verizon,
So-
for that
Oh,
tower.
man. So then first we need to make a motion to amend the agenda then,
Well,
right?
we can do it under other discussion.
You can make a motion under other discussion.
You can bring up another topic under other discussion.
That is
Or-
true.
Yeah,
Because, yeah, as long as we're a regularly scheduled meeting.
Yeah.
Very open on.
Public information.
I've got
So-
motions
And there's some issues.
on the agenda, yeah.
So it'll be in the minutes though, as a,
it'll be under the agenda under other discussions, and you will make a motion.
So we can make a motion to sign that.
So,
I will make that motion.
Okay, what motion do you make?
To sign the Verizon vertical bridge
lease agreement.
Notice,
No,
change notice.
change notice.
Okay,
And I will second that.
okay, we got a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
Is that company a maintenance company, or do you own the towers? Verizon still owns the towers?
it's a lease.
Sounds like
My,
property.
my understanding is Verizon still has the lease that they are now going to exercise and control.
It's like a
They're gonna
sublease.
control over it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and then, they'll have to maintain, okay.
Okay,
I'll be fine.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes.
Okay.
And with that, we'll adjourn this meeting.
I'd like to say something,
Okay,
other discussion.
okay,
I'd like to thank you for your last 4 years of service, and Lance for his last 8 years of service. It's not an easy task, so
I appreciate it.
And I second that all the way along. I mean, it's time consuming thing, but you guys have done very well.
I've learned more things than I thought I would.
You ever wanted to know.
I have lots of information in my head I'll probably never use again.
You were there, you were over
Someday.
there, you were there longer than a year, you started in October. Well, you were sworn in November,
Yeah,
so 13 months ago.
yeah,
It's been a good experience, yeah.
yeah.
When you stop and think, my first meeting was in the trailer.
Was
So, yeah.
it? Wow, yeah, yes, it
We
would
were
have
still
been.
going to meetings up at the trailer.
Yeah,
And so to see this beautiful town hall and all we
yeah.
have here.
Thank Mr. Nolan for that.
Been a great
project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, that's been awesome.
We got flashing lights over the stop signs, I guess that's my
Yeah.
legacy.
And curvy gutters. Curvy gutters. We should have had some clean hands.
So what did you have to do during the
Yeah.
There?
Okay, no, we were still discussing things.
Missed off.
Any other discussion? If not, we'll adjourn the meeting at 6:55.
Okay.
Okay.
I brought some snacks